Welcome, everyone. Terry Palma here with Bev Thompson, and it's another session of Conscious Gatherers. And we've got an interesting topic we're going to talk about tonight. Bev, you with us?
Yes, welcome, everybody, to our episode 31. And we have a lot to share with you tonight that talks about today, and then a general I'm going to call it a general rule, and Terry's going to start us off tonight.
Yeah, so I'm sure everybody's heard about the golden rule, and we've all, do unto others and you would have them do unto you. And it seems pretty simple and something to follow, but it actually follows the law of consciousness, and it's really good to know what that law is, because if you're not following the golden rule, it happens to you anyway. So let's say that we're out and we're thinking about somebody, and we're, even not so much doing in deed, but thinking a thought. Well, those thoughts need to be kindly thoughts that are uplifting, because if they're not, those things that you think, that you put out into the world, your world, they come back to you. So that's why that rule is there, and I don't think people have understood it. They think it's nice, it's pretty, it's a good thing to follow, but, I can think things in my mind. Well, I guess if you're looking at things in your life and they're not quite happening the way you'd like them to happen, look and see how you're thinking and treating the people in your world, because that's a good indication of what's coming back to you. And it's very easy to change that if you're not satisfied with your experience in the world, is simply follow the golden rule in thought and deed, because words are thoughts and deeds. So a simple little shift in consciousness, in language, in thinking, will invariably change the outlook on your life and the things that are attracted to you. And a good example is usually when we're scolding somebody, or we're pointing a finger. Let's say we're pointing a finger at them. Well, if you look at yourself when you're pointing a finger at somebody, there's one finger pointing at the person and three fingers coming back to you, which is kind of interesting. And it really follows the law of consciousness, because that's what you put out will come back to you, because the thoughts of one don't leave its creator. And that's why we're one with our creator, because our creator created us, and we're one with them because we can't leave him. All these things follow in suit, and they kind of circle. If you go, like, I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and if I turn right and I keep going and I turn right, I'm going to end up back where I started from. It's just how things work in this particular city. I'm sure it's similar in other cities, but just keep in mind, follow the golden rule in thought and deed, and you'll see your world change to the better. Bev, do you have something on this?
Well, yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned pointing the finger, and I tuned in today, and it got some information to share. And so it follows, of course, right along with what you're talking about, with going a little more detail. So I'd like to share that. And yeah, so, Terry, all right, jump in whenever, because there's quite a bit here, and just let me know what you're thinking as we're going through this, okay? So the other day, Terry and I were meditating together, as we talk about every episode, and the golden rule came up, and through Terry, and it's like, oh, perfect. So one of the first things I got, there is a myriad of ways of looking at the golden rule. And so I thought, okay, what do you mean by that? So then I went into a little more detail today, and so I want to share that with you. Okay, here's what I have heard. Acknowledge the depth of your beingness. Reconsider what you project. Not consider, but reconsider. So I thought that was an interesting word, and it comes up a little bit more in just a bit. The levels of consciousness, this is regarding the myriad of ways of looking at the golden rule, because the levels of consciousness determine the meaning. One person in a lower, or don't like to use the word lower, but a more dense frequency, but we may call third dimension, is not the same as one in a higher or a less dense frequency. So it says, yes, what you project out is you finding within that which vibrates to your being. Therefore, take notice that what you hold within, reconsider as you delve deeply within. Who are you? What am I? I said, to this we answer, all that ever was and ever shall be. However, to experience in the biological form each of us have chosen, our free will, is what that experience is or shall be. An example of this is, say, you are reacting to what is going on in your world of form. Or are you reacting? Remember that word, reacting. Are you reacting? And many people are, because everything else going on. So that is the political arena, the pandemic, or even the high-frequency light quotient that your planet is going through right now. So I'm going to break this because a lot of people are really feeling the energies, and they may feel very tired and need a lot of rest. So if you are tired and need a lot of rest, please do rest. And if you are feeling a little off kilter, a little dizzy, there's various symptoms that people are experiencing. And I've talked with a few people this past few days, and how much they're opening up and how much they're awakening. It's been pretty amazing hearing the stories. So anyway, I'm going to continue on. We recommend, this is regarding the what's going on in the world, okay, which is, again, the political arena, the pandemic, or the high-frequency light quotient that's hitting the earth right now. They said, we recommend you stop the chatter and the constant running around and truly tune into yourself. No more woe is me. If it is you, dear ones, who set this up, this we have said many times. You have set up this whole scenario. Ask yourselves why you made this decision. Something to ponder, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Become clear. It's what Terry was talking about. Become clear in your thoughts. Then you will project more clearly, and this will be felt around your world. You are changing your world of form. It is happening now. How else could you see the darkness that has prevailed upon your planet? We call it darkness only because you could not see your very own light that goes for each and every one of you. It is time to recognize and use your power. Very important. If you don't like what you feel, what you project, then reconsider what you are projecting. Again, what Terry just talked about. It is you interacting with your very own self. This is the world changing right before your eyes. All right. Any comments yet?
Well, yeah, that's right on point, because the only thing we do is interact with ourselves. And next session, when we come back, I'll probably talk about the dual nature of consciousness, being conscious and subconscious, and how that plays in, and how it's explained in different passages in the Bible. But even in the Ho'oponopono mystic school, remember, it's everything out there is you've caused it to come to you. You've created it in your world, and the way that they change it is simply go and say, if you encounter something that you want to change, you simply say, whatever in me is causing that, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And just know that you've released your part in the creation of whatever that was that you're experiencing, and it's gone, and it won't interact with you anymore, and that circumstance will change. Because what we're learning, what we're here to learn, is that the only true thing that there is consciousness. And we mold consciousness based on how we feel and what we feel and think of ourselves. And the outer world reflects that and gives us feedback to what we're thinking of ourselves and feeling of ourselves. Change the words, change your consciousness of what you think and feel and desire, and your world outside will change. And we'll go into that probably in our next session on how that's done. It's a simple steps, but it's not always easy to do because it takes a lot of focus, concentration, and just aware. If you're aware of it, like we're hoping to present that tonight, be aware that you are creating your environment. You are creating the people that come and interact with you. And simply changing your words, changing your thoughts, changing the way you interact are the way that people are going to be attracted to you, and you attract people. If you don't like the people in your life, I'm sorry, but you've attracted them to you. But you can change that. They don't need to be there anymore. So just know that can be done.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that before I go on, I want to remark on that because I do know of people going through some things with their friends, and their friends may be in a very negative state, and then it pulls them down if they allow it. And all of a sudden, it's really not fun to be around that person, and you want to help them, but you again, I always ask for permission to suggest some things because it's not my job to pull them out of it. However, I want to help them. So in a way, it is my job as a collective consciousness, yet whatever that person wants to go through, just make sure you're not pulled in. Does that make sense?
Well, remember, Bev, you don't need to change them because they didn't do anything. You've created that. You've created
That's right.
The way they act.
That's right.
So you need to go within and change the way you're interacting and thinking and feeling about that individual. They have nothing to do with it. Trust me.
Yep.
As soon as you change your perception and your words and your thoughts towards that person only has two choices. The universe only gives it two choices. It either will disappear and be gone, in other words, a person will be out of your life, or their attitude towards you and everything and your relationship with them will change to the positive. I'm assuming you're using it to the positive, and everything will be really nice. Those are the only two options because that's what you're creating.
Yeah. Well, you're being honest with yourself as you do that.
Right. And we've said on this podcast before that it's a very simple process. You're in control of everything, and we've been misled by the powers in all of the organized organizations that are out there. We have been misled and fed misinformation. I'm not talking strictly just politics. I'm talking even religion. And it's all been because of power. And, if you have power over the people, then you control those people to do what you want. And we're here, not just Bev and I, but a lot of entities here in the physical are here to tell you, no, you're not a victim, and you can change anything, but you have to realize you are in control. Do not blame anybody for what's going on. Like right now, to shift gears for a minute, I see the issue that's going on with our political system. And what I'm trying not to do is buy into that system. So, for an example, both parties are spending an enormous amount of money in Georgia to try and get their party into the Senate. I mean, when I say that, I've heard upwards of $500 million on that campaign. Now, what I'm visualizing is that money could go somewhere else and help our society, help the people that could use it. For whatever reason, they put themselves in the circumstance. Yes, they're in control and can change it. Most of them don't know that. Most of them are playing the victim. But so we can change that environment. We can say how that money is going to be used. We have to do it in mass, and we have to think about it. Rather than criticize either party, just think about, hey, that money could be funneled somewhere else. Let's funnel it somewhere else. Let's do this. And that's changing the environment. That's changing your world. And collectively, it could change everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well said. Well said. Well, some of this that I received today may be some of the same words that you have used. So I'm gonna continue. Okay. Again, we are the earth, and the earth is you. So you are the earth is you. Right? You have a name for this earthen body, and you call her Gaia. Now, I know she's given other names, but most of us know her as Gaia. She is an entity to herself, yet you are part of her and her a part of you. We have used the word movement many times, and that best explains what is happening with you and Earth. Not only are you moving in your consciousness to higher levels, so to speak, your Earth or planetary body and solar system are also moving into new areas of space. Again, overall, it just is consciousness. Okay, and this space is like high-octane energy. Yes, this is your creation within the all of existence. You could say things are ramping up on your Earth, and you will be witnessing so many changes in all your systems that are now being utilized by most of the population. Yes, your militaries have what many would consider far future technologies, yet they are now here in your timeline, and these technologies will soon be on display. This is not to say you are moving into transhumanism. There are ones who want to go in this direction and have already done so. However, this soon will not work in the higher energetic envelope that is now occurring. The dark forces are leaving, even though you may witness a surge in their operations. Again, this will not last long, with many ones now waking up and using their own benevolent powers. Come January, yes, in a few weeks, many of the dark ones will be shown for their false teachings, their malevolent ways. And some of these ones may surprise you, as many have put faith in their ideas. The term topsy-turvy has been used, and that is a good way to explain what is and will be happening. We recommend that you remain calm through these storms, and as you do this, the storms will be quickly dispelled. Some people may call it a war. However, we choose to see it as change. Your perceptions of life are changing because your belief systems are being shown for why they were permitted on this planet. Remember, you are the ones, all of you, no pointing fingers, as you said, Terry. You are the courageous ones, have stepped forth to bring this planet to another space or place and time for new experiences to be had, including that of more interactions with your space brothers and sisters. Yes, your skies are changing as more light enters this earth. Many of you are seeing the changes in your sun, such as the CMEs, or the coronal mass ejections. Yes, they affect you and your Earth. It is your solar system moving through this portal of highly energized particles. A new day is upon you, and it will be here sooner than later. Hold fast in your own internal knowingness. You are the leaders or way showers of your new ways of being, and so it is.
Very
That's
cool.
it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anything else to add here on the golden rule, or I don't know if we have any listeners that are live that have any questions. I don't think we do, but I want to thank all the listeners that come after the fact and go listen to our shows on the YouTube channel, Conscious Gatherers. We have the holidays coming up. I wish you all to be safe during these holidays. And remember, just start treating people the way you really want to be treated in everything. If someone disturbs you, we all get disturbed with something. I'm out driving and someone, is driving faster than I am and they're up on my tail. My interaction is, what's wrong? And then I say, I'm just going to calm down. They're doing whatever it's best for them right now. I'm just going to stay relaxed. I'm going to drive, and they kind of back off. So just if you catch yourself, which we're going to do, just switch the thought pattern, switch your energy to being positive, to being reinforcing, to be loving and light, and you'll see things will change. I guarantee it.
It's we're using our own powers, and now we're seeing this whole thing change with the movements and the energy of the earth, and we've done the great experiment, and we're on to the grand plan. So, and that's bringing more light into our bodies, and we're they're calling it a split earth, but split earth is really it's the new earth coming out of the ashes of old, so to speak. And so, we've been there, done that, and don't want to do it anymore, because we're starting to understand why we even put this duality program into action. So again, we set it up, and we're seeing the scenarios play out right now, and it's us, guys. And as Terry said, no pointing the fingers.
Hey, Bev, I'd like to talk about something else here. We got a few minutes left that it just popped in my mind. How many, remember back when, I hope most of your people, I'm 71, so I'm aging myself, but the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. What a great movie that was. And in there was a huge monolith that appeared on Earth. And I'm not sure that our newscasters, our broadcasters are picking up on it, but there are monoliths being discovered across the world that are just showing up. And if you Google monoliths, and you're going to actually see that this is the truth. And the messages that have been coming through for this, as these are things to get ready to help us make the shift with more light, more energy, and they're beacons, and somehow they'll be activated, and they're placed in strategic places. But don't take my word for it. Go Google, search monoliths showing up around the world, and it's a fact. They're happening. Yet you don't hear it from the news, because our government doesn't want you to know about UFOs and contact with extraterrestrials, and they've been here. They're in contact. They've been since the 50s. But we're not educated enough. We're not sophisticated. That's a secret being kept from us. And that's why you don't hear it in the news. Because
even Googling it, the censorship is strong right now, so I'm not sure what you're going to find on that. And they're saying it's done by artists. Is it? When they pop up everywhere, the monoliths, and they're on ley lines, there's a lot more to it. So the energetic and communication devices, yes.
I mean, part of what we want to do with our show is bring awareness to people. So I wanted to make sure people knew about this, so they're not surprised and startled when the mainstream media talks about it, and how they'll slant it. I don't know, but we know that they're beneficial. They're here to help, and that those monoliths are more like beacons and centers for light that will connect things like a grid would throughout our globe. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. Anything else, Bev? Otherwise, we can end it. We'll be back on, the 29th? Is that correct?
Yes. Well, what you're saying, Terry, is really be conscious of what's going around you, and and don't feed into some of the what do you want to call it, non-truth, and use your own power. The biggest thing is really being in your power right now.
We can't tell you what's true. We can only tell you what we think is true. And so when you hear things, go inside and let all of the hoopla go away and evaluate it for yourself, because your subconscious knows exactly what's going on. You know, exactly what's going on. It's your conscious mind that doesn't. It's the filter. The conscious mind filters things based on beliefs, things you've been told, but basically beliefs and feelings. And so it filters based on that. Subconscious doesn't. If I say something like, I can't find something, well, the subconscious won't let me find it. It says, oh, I can't means you don't want to. So, you know, it takes it literal, and it doesn't evaluate, well, what does he really mean by that? No, I can't. Okay, I won't let him. But I choose to say, oh, I choose to remember where that was, or I choose to remember where I last saw it, and leave it alone. And I guarantee within 5 minutes, the thought comes right to you of what you were looking for, because the subconscious knows. It knows everything. I've done it. I did it yesterday or today. I had a thought come to my mind, and it skipped me. And I go, my first, God, I can't remember that. Oop, cancel clear. I choose to remember what I was thinking about. And then I let it go, and bang, it just flashed right back into my mind. Of course, I have gratitude, and I say thank you, because it came back to me, given to me from my subconscious. Powerful thing.
It's very powerful. And you just mentioned gratitude, and that's a biggie, because when you're in gratitude, how does that make you feel?
Oh,
makes you feel good, right?
Yeah. And one of these times we have to talk about going to sleep, because you don't ever want to go to sleep angry or upset or having a bad feeling, because that's what the subconscious will work on the whole evening while you're working on. So when you're sleeping, just before you go to sleep, go into gratitude, go to thanks, and work on some positive, because when you fall asleep, that subconscious is going to do what you had last basically said you wanted, what was going on with you. So we can talk about that maybe next week when I talk about conscious and subconscious, if that's what we talk about. It'll be in one of our upcoming shows, but we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, Bev, anything else?
Well, these are exciting times, and this is why we incarnated at this time to be the way showers, and I'm not just talking about Terry and myself. Many of those of you that are listening, and remember, everybody is powerful. Not powerful over somebody, but powerful within themselves, and it's very important for you to realize and act upon that right now. So anyway, keep that in mind as we're going through these times in the next few weeks. I was told they're still going to continue to be topsy-turvy, if we want to call it that, but it's really us making the changes. So thank you, Terry, and gratitude to you and your wisdom.
Thank you, Beth.
How's that?
Back to you. I'm pointing at you, but with all my fingers. My hand is out.
Peace
right,
out.
Well, good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Have a safe and wonderful holiday and Merry Christmas. We will talk to you before the New Year, but we won't before Christmas. So enjoy your family and stay safe. Thank you. Good night.
Yes. Thank you. Merry Christmas. All right. Good night.